another episode of Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean, and if you're here, please hit the thumbs up button as you enter. Meanwhile, I'm going to share this on Twitter and on FB. So make sure you please hit that thumbs up button, please. I'm gonna share this, like I say, on Twitter and on and on Facebook. So make sure you hit the thumbs up as you come in. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, y'all, please. I shared this on FB. I'm about to share it on Twitter as well. Right? All right. So let's talk a little bit about the recap of last night. Um, Keyshawn Davis, he did his thing. You know, Keyshawn Davis advances to 15 wins, no losses, no draws. Of course, you had the controversy with the first weigh in where he missed weight, and his second weigh in, he made weight. Um, and once again, on I believe it was Fight Hype earlier today or maybe last night, Keyshawn Davis calls out Devin Haney again. He said he wants the Devin Haney smoke. So I guess his plan is to move to 147, move up 7 pounds. Um, and that would be a good matchup. Devin Haney versus Keyshawn, because Devin Haney is a pure boxer, whereas Keyshawn Davis has that uh, athleticism, the boxing skills, but he also has the that killer instinct. So I think that he would try to stop Devin Haney. Um, so that would be a good style matchup. I would say, in my opinion. But let me know your opinion. What's going on, Wayne Smout? What's going on, mate? Let me know your opinion. If Keyshawn Davis does get the Devin Haney fight, who would you think would win and how? Hypothetically speaking, if we get that fight next. And also let me know what you felt about the performance of Keyshawn Davis, his dominating performance over Nahir Albright, because I thought it would be a lot closer. The first fight, Nahir definitely gave him the most issues out of any opponent, but in this particular rematch, it's like Keyshawn was steps ahead of him. Keyshawn made adjustments, and Keyshawn just dominated him pretty much the whole fight. You might be able to give Nahir Albright one round, but he was dominated. And then in the 11th round, he got hurt. In the 12th round, the final round, he really got hurt and Keyshawn almost got the stoppage. But Nahir did a lot of clinching in the fight, a lot of holding, and of course, Keyshawn got tired of him holding him or whatever. He picked him up and slammed him. Excuse me. Earlier in the match, he picked him up and slammed him on the canvas, which that was obviously not professional, but it must have been out of frustration. Yeah, he did, Wayne. He looked very good against Albright. He looked very, very good. I'm definitely I'm definitely happy with what I saw. So let me know your opinion. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think, because I like to know y'all's opinion as well. All right. So let's keep it moving on the rest of that card from last night. Um, Now, of course, Keyshawn's brothers, they were also on that card. So you had in the super welterweight division, uh, Keon Davis, whose record is now at 5 wins, no losses, no draws, and he won a unanimous decision over Edwin Jr., whose record is now 9-3-0. Keon looked poised. He boxed very well. He moved around very well. Um, you know, I feel, and I think most people do, is that Keyshawn is the one that's probably the most special out of the Davis brothers. Keyshawn seems to be the most special out of his brothers. Um, his other brother, Kelvin Davis, who's a southpaw, who's the only southpaw fighter out of the three brothers. Um, his record is now 16 wins, one loss, no draws, and he won a split decision over Peter Dobson, whose record now stands at 17-4-0. Um, it was cool. It was okay performance for Kelvin Davis. I think after the fight, he mentioned that it had been a while since he had fought. So you know, some people will go along with the narrative of ring rust. If they don't look so good after being out the ring for a while, they'll probably throw it off on ring rust. But as we saw in the interview not too long ago with Errol Spence, He says he doesn't buy into the narrative of ring rust. Errol Spence said if he's ready for Tim Zoo, he's going to be ready, and ring rust will not be an excuse. So, some people say ring rust matters. Errol Spence says it doesn't matter. But let me know y'all opinion on the ring rust. What y'all feel about that? And how do you feel about the performance of Kelvin Davis? Um, I mean, I think he's okay at 147, but I don't really see him doing a whole lot in the future. To me, it's better talent. I think his ceiling will only go so high. As far as the brothers, I see Keyshawn going the farthest in his career, going the furthest. What's going on, Sweet Jones? Michael Ware, what's good? Mike Ware, what did you think about the Kelvin Davis performance last night? What did you feel about Keyshawn Davis's performance, where he dominated his opponent? And what do you feel about his brother Keon Davis? Let me know what y'all feel, and please hit the thumbs up. Please hit that thumbs up. Very important. All right. Um, so let's move over to the heavyweight division. We had the Croatian Filip Hrgovic, who can be very vocal at times, versus UK's Dave Allen. I spoke on Dave Allen an episode or two ago, and I always say he has a lot of heart. He'll fight anybody, but his ceiling only goes so high, and he's what you may consider to be, respectfully, a gatekeeper level fighter, but he will fight anybody. Um, his intention was if he were to win over Filip Hrgovic, he was going to fight Tyson Fury. But I was pretty much certain that Filip Hrgovic would be the first person to stop Dave Allen. I pretty much saw the writing on the wall. Um, he just kept coming at Dave Allen, and Dave Allen had no answer. He threw a couple of body shots to the midsection of Filip Hrgovic, but other than that, he really did nothing else. He got backed up, and once he got against the ropes, he was just there for the pickings. Um, Filip Hrgovic had a field day. You know, he was licking his chops um, in that fight. Mike Ware, you said Keyshawn did good. I was at wedding. I will watch the others tonight. Yeah, he did very well. Now let me ask you this, Mike Ware. Do you think that if Keyshawn Davis gets the Devin Haney fight, do you think that he will beat Devin Haney? And shout out to Ish from the group chat. He said he feels that Devin Haney is going to beat Keyshawn Davis if they fight. Wayne Smout, you said Herkovic showed the difference in levels. Absolutely. So with that being said, Wayne Smout, the big talk is, and I know Cam J, shouts to my cousin Cam J, he had mentioned he saw that he saw it ahead of time that uh if Philip Herkovic won as as it was planned and as he did, that he would move on to fight Moses and Tuma. He's always had something to say about Moses and Tuma in the past. He says he's skilled, but he wants to know if Moses and Tuma has the heart. He wants to know and see how Moses Atuma will look if he gets his chin checked. So my question to Wayne Smout, Michael Ware, Sweet Jones, anybody else in the chat, do you think Philip Herkovic beats Moses Atuma? Or do you think he gives Moses Atuma issues? Or will it be a fight where you expect it to be kind of a back and forth and you expect for Philip Herkovic to show resistance? But is Moses Atuma that good that he would spark out Philip Herkovic within the first 6 rounds? How do you think this fight will play out? Very interesting style matchup and a really good step up for Moses and Tuma. I definitely give Moses and Tuma the speed advantage and things like that. Um, so it's definitely an interesting style matchup. Okay, let's talk about Brian Norman Jr. as he has his new trainer. He's no longer with his dad, Brian Norman Sr. Brian Norman Jr. is now with Ronnie Shields. Um, and I think Ronnie Shields is a good trainer for a person with that type of power and can help him with some of his tweaks. Because remember, he ran out of ideas when he fought Devin Haney. Um, and I know that I saw an interview where Brian Norman Jr. gets tired of hearing about Devin Haney. But hey, that fight was a lesson learned for him. So I think with Ronnie Shields, he'll do much better. Um, so we'll see what the future holds as he keeps moving down, um, moving along in his career under the tutelage of Ronnie Shields. But Brian Norman Jr. made short work of his opponent in the second round with his stoppage over Josh Wagner. It went as I expected. I didn't know that it would be a 2 round stoppage, but I knew it was going to be, early rounds, maybe rounds five, between 5 and 7. But he did it in two rounds. So Brian Norman Jr. is back in the winning column. Wayne Smout, you said Herkovic jab be an issue for Moses. Yeah, it definitely can be. So I want to see what Moses can do to try to negate it, or can he take that jab away from him? It may not be so easy to do. So they have to come up with a clever game plan. Maybe take some of the strategy from Daniel Dubois. Although I know that Dubois and Moses have a different style of fighting. Moses being a southpaw, Moses being a better with his footwork than Daniel Dubois. Um, but maybe he can take some of the things that Dubois does well and what he used to keep Philip Herkovic at bay. So I really like the style matchup for sure. Shout outs to my cousin Dee. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you following through. Thanks for pulling up. So yeah, let me know what kind of strategy you feel like Moses and Tuma would implement once he has to face Philip Herkovic. All right, Loma coming out of retirement. So We know if Loma comes out of retirement, which this news happened like about a week, a week and a half ago. So, who do you feel is going to be the big name opponent? I know a lot of people want to see. Well, at one time they wanted to see Tank Davis versus Lomachenko. Right around the time Loma had retired, but Shakur Stevenson. I've seen a couple of clips where he's going back and forth a little bit with Loma and saying that he would like to fight. So if Shakur fights Lomachenko, do you feel that the style of Shakur Stevenson's pure boxing style against another boxer with a different style of movement and different angles like Lomachenko, um, that'd be like a chess match. Do you think Shakur has all the ingredients to defeat somebody like Lomachenko? So hypothetically, should we get that fight late this year or next year? Who do you pick to win, and what do you think the strategy would be? Because that's an interesting style matchup. Definitely a chess match. Loma versus Stevenson. Should it come to fruition? Sweet Jones, Cuzzo, you said you take Shakur. Do you think Shakur wins by stoppage or on points over Loma? Okay, and let's move over to the 154-pound division. The return of Errol Spence. Something I've talked about a time or two on these other episodes. It's good to hear that he's coming back. Uh, it's good to know that he's in a good mental space right now. Um, Errol Spence seems just as confident as ever. I wouldn't say overconfident, but just very confident in his abilities. I saw the interview he did with Sean Porter, and I have no qualms or issues on what he said. I don't see it as a bad thing or him having any animosity towards Derek James as his trainer. They still, to my understanding, have a cordial relationship. But in the same aspect, he realized sometimes you kind of outgrow a certain style of fighting. And he realized he wasn't doing anything more than he had done from back in the past. He was able to get by with the resources and style that he had. But at some point, once you get to the levels, as we saw with Bud Crawford and people who have a lot of tools in their toolbox, you have to be able to uh, move up and and do different things. It kind of goes back to what Lennox Lewis said, the the former champ, former undisputed champ, Lennox Lewis. He says, "Hey, sometimes you get with a trainer, and I'm paraphrasing, but he says something like, you get with a trainer who might be like a high school level trainer, but once you outgrow that, you need another trainer who's more on a college level." So it was a very smart decision and a very wise decision for Errol Spence. It lets you know that he's woke. He's not sleeping. He understands that, hey, I have certain limitations to my fight game. And I could use a trainer who could help bring out more that can help bring out more strategies and more dynamics to what I do in the ring. And I think Ronnie Shields will do pretty good. I want to say Ronnie Shields had trained Evander Holyfield back in the day. So we saw Holyfield kind of had a mixture of insight fight game, mid range, all that. Like Holyfield could mix it up with the big guys. Although the way I look back at Holyfield's career in hindsight, I felt like a lot of times he was such a pretty good boxer, he could move around a lot more, but he liked to fight and get in there and get gritty with Riddick Bowes, with Mike Tyson, with big punchers, with Lennox Lewis. But I think with Errol Spence, Ronnie Shields going to show him a lot of things, and I'm waiting to see what he's going to bring to the table from what he learns with Ronnie Shields when he goes to Australia to fight Tim Tszyu. So, what's your prediction for Tim Tszyu versus Errol Spence Jr.? I'm still going to go with Errol Spence, not just because I'm an Errol Spence fan, but I do feel like Errol Spence has done enough. He's seen enough. Um, and maybe Tim Tszyu probably brings nothing else to the table that he's not seen before. I mean, if you look at it for what it is, Tim Tszyu is no Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford is just elite level and top notch. So I don't think anybody else can do to Earl Spence what Bud did in particular. Um, so I got Spence over Tim Tszyu. Um, it would probably take a couple rounds. It might be mid rounds, but I think eventually he can get a stoppage. Maybe round 7 or 8, between 7 and 9. Let me know. Let me know your opinion. Sweet Jones, you said Shakur on points over Lomachenko. Wayne Smout, Loma now 38. You got Shakur. Sweet Jones, Cuzzo, you said Spence needs to go over to Bomac. I mean, now that Bud Crawford is retired, I mean, he really could if he wanted to. He could go to Bomac. Bomac definitely knows his stuff. He definitely knows his stuff, that's for sure. Wayne Smout, you said not sure Spence can come back from the beating he got from Bud Crawford. I mean, I think I get it, but if I listen to what Errol Spence had to say in his interview with Sean Porter, because actually Sean Porter sat down with Errol Spence and he did a sit down with Tim Tszyu. He did an interview with both guys. Now, what Errol Spence says is a lot of people are doubting me because I'm coming off of a loss and I'm coming off a layoff. He said, I want to prove the doubters wrong, that I can bounce back, and that one loss does not define his entire career. But hey, we're gonna see. We're gonna definitely see. Um, Before we know it, the fight day will be here. So we're gonna see uh, how good he does with his new trainer, with his layoff, and all that. Because he says the layoff he had did a lot for him uh, physically and mentally. It did a lot of good for him. So we're going to see. We're going to definitely see. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Now, since Brian Norman Jr. came off a good win last night, who do you think would be the opponent next for Brian Norman Jr.? Who do you think they're going to try to pair him up with? Who do you think is going to be the dancing partner of Brian Norman Jr.? Wayne Smout, you said, mate, Spence is much better fighter than Tim Zoo. Come down to who has the most left. Absolutely. That's a good way to put it. That's definitely a good way to put it. Uh, we will definitely see. We will definitely see who's going to have more left in their gas tank. And there was a meme I saw, so I want to know what y'all think. It says, "Who should Daniel Dubois face next?" To the right of Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua, which will be a rematch. Tyson Fury, a Usyk third fight, which I don't want to see a third fight with Daniel Dubois and Usyk, because I think Usyk will stop him just like he did in the second fight. It'll be fast. Fabio Wardley, which that won't happen next because, well, actually, it will probably happen because Fabio Wardley, from what I'm hearing, he did exercise his rematch clause. So I think we're going to be seeing Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois next, and I don't like it. I don't like the immediate rematch. I don't. It also says, will it be Dubois versus Moses and Tuma? But we know that Moses and Tuma is, and has been talked about him fighting Philip Herkovic. So Daniel Dubois, if he does not fight Wardley, which I'm thinking he will, I wouldn't mind seeing Dubois versus Tyson Fury. But I want to see AJ versus Fury more than Dubois versus Fury. But either one, to me, has this type of style to give Fury problems. So I'd be down to see Fury versus AJ or Dubois. Now back to Fabio Wardley. Um, the reason why I don't like the immediate rematch is because what we saw in the ring when Wardley was in there. We saw him drop. We saw we saw Worley drop Dubois twice, both times pretty much with his right hand, very quickly. He has a quick hand, a quick right hand. But I think once the corner and the team, Don Charles and the rest of those guys, started to catch on to the left right, they started to understand what Fabio Worley was going to do. So Dubois was more weary and he was expecting the right hand. And it was hard for um, Fabio Worley to land his right hand again. He started being too predictable. He wasn't using the left hand as a true weapon as he should have. He kept relying on the right hand and overshooting his right hand. So I feel like in a rematch, he's going to do the same thing. I think it would be in best interest to bring him down some, let Fabio Worley have two lower tier opponents so he can work on his techniques. Then go back with Daniel Dubois after having like two more lower tier opponents. And then go back. I think going back right now is going to end up badly for him because Daniel Dubois now knows he's a limited fighter. I mean, he didn't really have an amateur background, so this is a guy that's just did very well on physical abilities that he had, the type of power he had, the twitch muscle he has. But that'll only get you so far once you start really moving up the ranking. And I think it's a bad idea for Fabio Wardley to take an immediate rematch with Daniel Dubois. I think he needs to rebuild. I agree, Wayne. Fury won't fight Dubois. He's pretty much said it and shot it down already. I would love to see it, but Fury won't do it. Now, being that you said this, Wayne, why won't Fury fight Dubois? What do you feel that? Do you feel like he knows that Dubois could stop him? Dubois would likely beat him. Is that why you feel Fury won't fight him? Because that's what I feel. Um, and we got about three more topics before I close out tonight's podcast. I appreciate everybody coming in. Even if you play this back, hit that thumbs up button, y'all. Hit the thumbs up. Even if you run this back and you run it back later tonight, you run it back at work tomorrow, you run it back later on throughout the week. Also, I did a live on Saturday on yesterday. So make sure you go back and watch that and hit the thumbs up on that too. Make sure you tell a friend or three to subscribe because I'm like 18 away from 1,000 subscribers. I'm 18 subscribers away from 1,000. So I just need 18 more subs. And I really appreciate all the help from everybody. Wayne Smout, you said Fury won't fight guys like Dubois or Moses. I agree. I agree. He knows. He knows those type of guys will give him issues. He knows very well. I totally agree. All right. So for our last three subjects of tonight's podcast, Oshaki Foster versus Raymond Ford. What do you think about Oshaki Foster? Actually, four more topics. But Oshaki Foster versus Raymond Ford. I'm taking Oshaki, and I feel like he may stop him late. He may be stopping Ray late in that fight. Um, I think that he's going to box very well, be very controlled. Um, he may not he may not beat Ray in the same fashion that he beat Cool Boy Steph, but I still feel like Foster is going to win. All right. Also, let's talk about coming up July 4th weekend here in Ohio, the state of Ohio, USA. In his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, Abdullah Mason takes on Joe Cordina. Let me know your predictions on Abdullah Mason versus Joe Cordina. I'm definitely taking Abdullah Mason. I was very shocked to see how he performed in the Sam Noakes fight. He showed a lot of grit, um, being that he can box as well. He kind of went in there and stayed in the phone booth. I think sometimes uh, too much, but nevertheless, he weathered the storm. against the pretty strong and powerful uh, Sam Noakes, and he got the win. You got Mason knocking out Joe Cordina. Okay, okay. I like that prediction, mate. Um, all right, so we got two more subjects, y'all. Two more, and it is in the heavyweight division. Frank Sanchez, the Cuban Flash, versus Richard Torres Jr. What is your prediction for Frank Sanchez versus Richard Torres Jr.? As I stated before, the injuries of Frank Sanchez put him in a bad position. I think a fully healthy Frank Sanchez gives a lot of these heavyweights issues because he's a mover. But if he's going to be somewhat handicapped with a knee or leg injury, I think it's going to be problems. He may get stopped by Richard Torres Jr. Now, Wayne, do you feel like Torres beats him because of the fact that Sanchez has been injured? Or do you feel like a fully healthy Sanchez would have beat Torres? Or would you take Torres over him regardless if he's healthy, fully healthy or not? Do you feel like uh, Torres would beat him just because of the style of Torres? And for the last subject, I had to save one of the best for last. Jerron Boots Ennis versus Xander Zayas. What's your prediction? Um, Boots Ennis, I feel like is going to show a lot more of his dimensions. He's going to show a lot more to his game. I think we're going to see Boots Ennis go into another gear when he fights Xander Zayas. This is not to take anything away from Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas is a good fighter. Wayne Smith, you got Zayas on points. Um, so it's gonna be interesting because some people do take Zayas. I can't remember what my cousin Cam J said, but he might have been 50-50. I know he kind of likes Xander too. He does. He likes Boots, but he likes Xander too. So he might be 50-50 on it. I can't remember. But I see it as a competitive fight when I am taking Boots, the athletic ability of Boots. Um, I just feel like he's his own fighter. He doesn't fight. The only thing he has similar to Bud Crawford is Boots is a switch hitter. But really he fights is different. Boots to me is more athletic than Bud. Bud would be in the pocket, kind of like a Pernell Whitaker, and make you miss and make you pay like he did Canelo Alvarez. Boots to me is more like a similar to like a Roy Jones, where he does things that are not conventional that you don't expect for him to do. Um, his uppercuts sometimes he throws those double uppercuts real fast. He's a switch hitter, of course. I think he's going to use every tool in his toolbox to uh to defeat Xander Zayas. It's going to be an interesting fight. Um, and like I said, I'm edging Bud. I mean, not Bud. I'm edging Boots. Got two guys with the B, Boots and Bud. But I'm edging Boots over Xander Zayas. Oh, and right before I go, because I did see this and it just came back to my mind. It's not a fight that I'm crazy about, but I believe it's pretty much official that Canelo Alvarez will be fighting Christian and Billy. I'm not, like I said, I'm not head over heels or crazy about this matchup, but as a boxing purist, I'll definitely watch it. And I definitely know that it'll be a decent fight because you got two guys that kind of stand their ground. Christian and Billy is not a Bud Crawford or a Dimitri Bivol or a Floyd Mayweather. So he's not going to be all, boxing, moving, and all that. He's going to be pretty much in the pocket and bringing the fight to Canelo Alvarez. So um, I want to know what's y'all prediction. Canelo versus Billy. Um, hmm, it's a it's one of those matches like it could be it could be definitely an exciting fight. It can definitely be an exciting fight. Um, I have to kind of sit there and think on it a little more. Um, I might say 55-45, lean towards Canelo. He's the veteran. He's been there and done that with a lot of boxers, and he's not dealing with a Floyd or a Bud or a Bivol, a moving fighter that gives him kind of fits. He's fighting a guy who's going to come to him, so that could play more into the hands of Canelo. Um, so Canelo, and we know he has a durable chin. Canelo's only been what dropped maybe one time his whole career, if that. He has a very great chin. So I agree, Wayne. Canelo has to win. If he doesn't win this, it's going to look bad on his career because he needs to go ahead and win out because he's at an age now where he can't turn back the hands of time. So he needs to clinch a victory against Christian and Billy. Oh, you said Canelo never been dropped. Okay. Sweet Jones, you said Canelo has never been dropped. Okay, that's what's up. Um, Sweet Jones, right before I go, something I mentioned earlier. Uh, salute Cam J. Salute Cuzzo Cam J. Cam J said Canelo versus M. Billy gonna be a tough fight for Canelo. You said you've been listening and prepping my recap show. Hey, I appreciate it, Cuzzo, and I already know. I already know you getting it together. So after I get done here, I'm gonna be right over. I'm gonna be right over, man. So it's all good, y'all. We'll see what happens. Sweet Jones, do you think that Keyshawn Davis would beat Devin Haney if they fought at 147? I won't go into the Bill Haney into the list. When Bill Haney always talks about that list. Um, but if Keyshawn Davis fights Devin Haney, then we won't have to worry about that list, Bill. But it's all good, man. So I appreciate everybody who fell through on this episode tonight. Next weekend, I might go live on Saturday, possibly. So I might do a Saturday show and my normal Sunday. But I'm supposed to have a special guest from Cincinnati, up and coming boxer, local here in Cincinnati. So we'll see what happens. We've been corresponding through the email or whatever. So if I get him on here, we're gonna do a sit down and let him tell his story and everything like that. So be on the lookout for my next episode. Um, we're gonna keep it real for you and authentic. We're gonna keep it authentic for you. So, like I said, if you play this one back, hit the thumbs up when you come on here. Tell a friend or three to subscribe to Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. 18 away from 1,000 subs. We are almost there. So just keep helping me, keep supporting me, just watching the video and rocking with me like y'all do every Sunday, or if I come and do a pop up on a Saturday or something like that. That's that's the support I need. That's the support I need. It feels really, really good. Y'all showing the type of support you do. Like I said again, shout outs to my cousin Dee Dee. Shout outs to Sweet Jones, to my cousin Cam J, my cousin Sweet Jones, my mate over in UK, Wayne Smout. Um, big shout outs. Mike Ware was on here for a second, and he had to dip off or whatever. But yeah, we'll be back here next weekend, and like I said, hopefully the special guest will be on here. I'm gonna talk with them uh, either tonight or tomorrow. And once we lock it in and confirm it, I will definitely be making a post on Facebook and my different social medias. So y'all all have a good Sunday night. Y'all be safe, and I will catch you on the next round. Peace.